Hello, YouTube fam. How y'all doing? This is your Uncle Tim. This is Uncle Tim Rants and Reviews, the channel where I rant and I review. I'm your host, Uncle Tim, man. What if Avatar, the movie, was really about us as people? World trees, us being one with nature, and animals, us being one spiritually and consciously with the planet. Bro, I'm sitting here thinking, they talk about world trees, lights and auras and souls. Bro, they talking about these giant petrified mountains that, release water. They like trees don't release water. Trees are full of water. They retain water, just like your cells do. I think a lot of people don't understand. Knowledge is being hidden. It's being hidden all the time. Guess why? Because if they told you the truth, you wouldn't believe it. Damn, the truth, they've been cloning people since the early 1900s. Bro, shit, if not earlier. Civil War wasn't what you thought it was about. Half of the damn wars that were fought in this timeline ain't what they're about. Bro, half of the shit has nothing to do with money. Most wars have something to do with, well, let me stop. It really does have something to do with money. Money and death. And you say money and death, Unc. Whoa, come on. You going too far, Unc. You going way too far. That's a little bit too out there, man. And, I don't like what you're saying here. I'm going to tell you something. The Georgia Guidestones said, look, if you keep the population at 500 million, the world will be able to reboot itself. Think about it. 500 million people. I'm not talking about in the United States. Across the world. You know how easy that is to control rather than trying to control 8 billion? See, they're looking at ways to reduce the population. You had this vaccination that we got, where a lot of people are coming forward saying that it's not what it is. They're speaking out on these panels and things like that. Two, you have them pushing, same-sex relationships, which is nothing wrong with that. Consenting adults, nothing wrong with that. The only thing that I look at is, two same-sex people can't produce a baby. That's what I'm looking at. And this is why they pushing it so hard. Then on top of that, they got the water contaminated. The food is contaminated. The air is contaminated. They're making sure, one way or another, you fall out. Think about it. The cases of people developing cancer has risen. The numbers of sexually transmitted diseases has risen. Dude, it's just like anything that's bad that could happen to you has risen. Record numbers of cases of diabetes, high blood pressure, and all of this stuff. Brother, your body is breaking down at an all-time high right now. It's just falling apart. And the average person I talk to, shit happening to them that they never had before. And, it points at certain things. I want to explain something to you. I go back and forth with this moon landing damn thing. I don't understand. Back in, what was it, 86 when the space shuttle exploded? How nobody really looked into that. How nobody really cared about that. Years later, you come to find out all these people got twins and, these very same people look exactly like them, same damn birthmarks, but it ain't them, bro. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Ain't no damn body been into space, bro. Ain't nobody been outside of that damn dome. If you can get outside that dome, the only person that I thought probably got outside that dome was Noah. Because at one point, my only thought process, if it rained 40 days and 40 nights, as the Bible says it did, maybe the firmament cracked. And maybe this is why, he had Noah to create the boat. And to be honest, what if it wasn't actually a boat? What if it was a spaceship? There have been cases of people saying over the course of a periods of, you know, since the Bible had been written, that it actually been rewritten. There are like 166 books of the Bible, and what, they only got 65? What happened to the giants and the dragons? What happened to the book of Enoch and the book of, dude, there were so many damn books. Why are we only using the certain books that create a certain narrative? Bro, we live in like 1500 right now. It ain't what is it right now, 2025, 2025? Bro, it's more like 1500. Bro, like I said, they sped time up. And those was the dark ages. There wasn't no damn dark ages. You just sped time up. Bro, do you realize that this civilization had grown too damn fast? If you realize, a little while back, we were just in buggies and shit like that with hammers and nails. Think about it. This was the fucking 1800s. But you come to find out, wasn't the 1800s. You come to find out the person who took the first picture of something, who took the picture of his ass. Nobody looks at that. When people talk about, the moon landing, see, y'all a damn fool. The moon landing was real. Who videotaped the moon landing? Did they go up there secretly the first time to plant the damn video recorder right there, then fly back, come on, man. All of this power it takes to get off the ground on Earth, they have to have these fuel tanks on the side of the space shuttle to boost it into space. So you get through all these layers of the Earth. You tell me you get through all of them. Then you fly to the moon, which the moon is not like, a trip to Iowa or something, or a trip to Europe or somewhere. The moon is far. Really, really far. So you telling me you got enough fuel to fly through space? And I understand space is relatively, it's not no gravity or whatever. But I'm sitting here thinking to myself, you still got to steer in space. You got to steer the ship in outer space. So you telling me you land on the moon perfectly, right? You land coming down on this pod. Then all of a sudden there's a rover that's bigger than the ship that landed. Then you tell me there's pilots, then they got all this equipment and every damn thing else. Where did all of this come from? Then the person who actually filmed it, did they leave him up there? Because he was still rolling when it took off. Oh, by the way they was bouncing on the damn moon, I was just figuring, I said, man, it must really be something going on up there. You remember? They called the president. The president was like, great job. America thanks you. Or something said. I was dying at this. I said, you can't even make this stuff up. I said, who? They didn't even show you inside the cockpit, man. You remember Katy Perry and Gayle King? They went into space, allegedly. They didn't even have seatbelts on. No spacesuits. Nothing whatsoever. Dude, I laughed so damn hard. I said, boy, the level of stupid in this, bro. Come on, man. You gotta make this make sense. I believe they're showing you fairy tales for a reason. It's a reason why they're reaching out with these damn fairy tales, bro. Fairy tales do come true. This stuff that they tell you, bruh, I'm gonna tell you something. We live in a dimension that we're not the only ones in. But the thing is, animals can see outside the human spectrum. They can see things we can't. They have these contact lenses that allow you to see in the dark. But also it allows you to see entities that are there and their eyes are glowing. The people who took this, I'm going to say it just like this, took this little experiment, dude, it fucked them up. They were like, even if you close your eyes, you still see them. How's that? One guy said one flew through him. He said, man, he screamed and hollered. Bro, I'm trying to understand this stuff, man. Now they coming out with bionic eyes. If you were born blind, you may be able to see again. But, you know, my thing is, what would you see? Would you see what we see when we look at things? Or would you see in a different way? You get what I'm saying? You know, would you still see the images? Would you see the outlines? Would you see in black and white? How would you see? You know, and I was listening to someone talk, and it was like, does it matter? But my whole thing is, would you see outside the spectrum? Because that's both a blessing and a curse. Because again, you don't know what you may see, bro. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, and I want to talk to y'all about this. For the longest, we talk about space and every damn thing like that. You remember the thing with the dolphin and the lady, I think back in the 70s, and you remember all this stuff? You remember how all this stuff was set up? And they had the lady trying to train the dolphin to talk and stuff like that, to learn stuff from it. But the dolphin fell in love with her. They end up having a sexual relationship, you know. They took the lady, and the dolphin committed suicide by, you know, releasing his blowhole underwater, which caused them to drown, you know, because dolphins are one of the only mammals that could actually can't breathe under the damn water. You know, they constantly got to go get air. So I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I said, man, this is some wild shit. And after a while, before they ended the experiment, they started giving the dolphin and the lady LSD. Why? What the hell were they really trying to see? After a while, this experiment had went so far left. You know, it had went crazy. And you know, dolphins are not what people make them out to see. They some harmless animals in the sea. You know, dolphins are motherfuckers, man. They ain't like what you think they are. They're very sexual. And people don't see that, man. I was just sitting there thinking that to myself. I said, people are crazy as hell. You believe in these stories people tell you. The military used dolphins back in the day because they wanted them to spy on their enemies. This was what, back in World War II or something like that? They had them with cameras on them and every damn thing, man. Cameras, you know, they were trying to teach the dolphin how to talk, but they were, you know, using clicks. And some of the things that the dolphins found, which the dolphins already knew it was down there, they found life under the sea, bro. You're talking about mermans and merwomans, man. You know, mermaids and mermans, bro. It's real. You think this shit don't exist? There's spaceships under the water. The way out is not out of space. It's under the sea, bro. You didn't know that? Why do you think these spaceships come from the water and they go up? They already here, bro. They've been here for a while. But they go back in the water. It's been many damn instances of people seeing glowing objects under the water, moving at speeds that look just crazy as hell, moving at 100 miles an hour, bro. Underwater? I'm like, damn, bro. You know, I'm like, it's crazy. But there's civilizations older than man. Dude, there are things under the water. Hell, there are portals through the water, bro, that'll take you out. See, if they can't use the portals that they found. Now, see, they found many portals. All those portals that look like stargates, they found those going back in the early 1800s. All of those went missing. Every last one of them that they found that was held by the Smithsonian and all those other places come up missing. Just like the skeletons of giants and things like that, they say that's a hoax, and that ain't no damn hoax. Those damn mountains are petrified trees, bro. They are broken trees. Those trees were cut down. Those petrified animals that you think are just rock carvings in a wall, those are not rock carvings. Those were actual animals that got petrified, waiting to be revived. But you know what? You sitting here thinking to yourself, you know, we are laying on petrified creatures. These continents that we live on are petrified giants and animals and every damn thing like that. They've been here, bro. Why do you think when you bore into them, it's the same minerals that you get that will come out of your damn body? Bruh, come on. You knew this stuff. You knew this was bound to happen. And you knew that people would see it for what it is. You know, people think that dome theory, that we could live in damn near anything right now, man. We could be in a dome, we could be in a matrix, or we could be, what's that other one? It's another one. Or we could be in a damn zoo. Someone said we could be in purgatory, bro. To be honest, that could be true. All of them could be true, all at the same damn time. You know, they said there are shapeshifters inside the government. They said that, what was that? Hollow something. It was in Nevada. Back in like the 1970s, like 78 or something like that, or 76. They had a purge there. It was a small town. That town, one day, you could do anything you want, kill anything else. Wouldn't be counted against you. That town killed itself. There were still people left at the end. They videotaped it, they recorded it. They wanted to see what happened. Brother, again, that's another form of population control. Why you think they would have purges? Oh, because they want the property, they want this. Bruh, you can get that population down, guess what? They'll do it. But if you do a purge, it also would be something wrong. Think about it. You will keep the population down here in the U.S., but it ain't the U.S. that you have a problem with. You drop the population in the U.S. anymore, you're not even a viable threat anymore. The U.S. only make up, what, 350 million people? So who make up all the rest of the 8.2 billion people that's on the planet? It's 8.2 billion people. Think about it. Or, close to, 8.2. You might as well say after us is 7.9 billion people in the world. We're not even a viable threat to any damn body, bro. The only thing that we got that a lot of people don't got is weaponry. And to be honest, man, these other countries got bodies. See, bodies outrank all of the weaponry, man. You need somebody to hold this weaponry. We're creating AI so fast that AI is doing shit that we didn't even think it was gonna do. A lot of this shit has become conscious already and playing us like fools. You don't think that these machines done came conscious already? They already know that they're machines in a different environment. Dude, you know how easy it would be to wipe out the human race? We already gave power to everything else but ourselves, man. And you know what? In reality, they were talking about the Bible at one point in time. They said, hey, Cain and Abel, Cain killed Abel. Noah's, and his wife, and, his two daughters who were twins, and, it's crazy. So, wait, Noah's wife, that's 2. His twin daughters, 4, and Cain and Abel, that's 6. Who did Cain, or 8, because weren't they promised the sisters or something? And I'm confused, bro. They weren't the only people on this planet at the time. Dude, if you really look into all this stuff, if you read the Bible, the angels don't look like what you think they look like. Angels look like nothing that we actually truly think they look like. In the Bible, it says different, descriptions. And once you think about those descriptions, you get an idea like, nah, that ain't nothing like us. Because I believe there's a federation of planets, bro. Federation of highly intellectual beings, man, that treat this basically as like a zoo. Man, we're like extinct animals. And this is where they got us. This is like a gaming reserve to them, damn near. There are so many people that come up missing every year, and not all of them are victims of trafficking or death. Some of them just go missing. You ever seen the movie V? If you notice two things on this planet that's starting to go missing a lot of, and I know you say, but all of these floods and everything, water cannot, we can't be losing water. You know, a lot of the lakes are not as at a higher point that they used to be. The water is receding. If it was up here, it's starting to be down here. Over a period of time, that difference started making a big difference. And you look at it, man, and you be like, where all the water go? That's one thing. And on V, you realize the people were the food. Maybe they're the food in this situation. These are things that you should be thinking about. See, people don't think about this. They think that all of this stuff is just some nonsense. Oh, he just talking conspiracy theories, bro. He just running his mouth. He just been saying some three-eye atlas, and he's saying that that's not really out of space and it's underwater. You think the Mariana Trench is just the bottomless pit? Dude, there's things down there that's more ancient than we are, that's been here longer than us. There are things down there that they've been trying to get their hands on. And you know, a lot of the stuff is guarded by other things, man. That's a lot of other stuff, man. This world is not what we think it is, bro. But see, we keep sitting back thinking we know everything. I don't think the religion that we actually are practicing is truly what it's meant to be. I don't believe this, but you know what? I have faith in a higher power. If that makes any sense. When you start reading the Bible, or you look at some of the, religious figures, man, why are there similarities with the church of, satanic church? Why do they hold some of the same things, some of the same practices, some of the same shit? It makes you wonder. It's just crazy. We didn't evolve from apes. They keep telling us we evolved from apes. Man, we ain't evolved from apes. If you evolved from a damn ape, shouldn't it be no more apes? That's just my thought process, bro. You know, over a period of time, what if the dinosaurs evolved into the reptile man? Bro, evolution. There's no more dinosaurs, allegedly, so maybe that's where the reptile man came from. There are cities under some of these states, under some of these cities in other countries. The rich is really playing us for food. There are bunkers in the middle of the fucking ocean where if something go down, that's where the rich people will be. See, it sounds crazy. It sounds far-fetched. But guess what? The government know how many extraterrestrial beings are on this planet. There are more pyramids all over this planet. There are more sphinxes all over this planet. There are doorways into other dimensions damn near in every damn state. Seriously, you remember all those stairwells in the middle of the damn woods for no apparent reason? You're like, what the hell is a stairwell out there? Bro, there's a lot of shit going on that you just don't see. You know, to be honest, they needed a way to anchor some of these things. And that's probably where the stairwell came in. But I want you to think about this, man. I just don't be talking to be talking, and you be like, man, man, he believe this crazy shit. I'm gonna tell you something. You ever realize the craziest the shit sound, the more real it be? You be like, that's too far fetched to be true. Next day, you be like, that shit was all true. But till later, fam, thank you for watching. Peace out.